Who that everybody? My name is Tracy Bartholomew. This is Stephen Bijou, and look who the cat drug in. Michael Turner. Now, if you guys don't know who Michael Turner is, you he's been a part of the Saint Stop podcast for a long time. He originally started off with us when we were just doing audio on Anchor. Um, but now we're on video, we're on YouTube and everything else coming. So he is back. And Michael Turner, man, what's going on? Say hello to your fans, man.
What's up, Saint Stop, man? I missed y'all so much, man. I want to apologize for not being able to be available as much as I would love to. I work in the healthcare industry, so obviously because of this whole Rona thing, it's just got me in and not capable of being available as much as I would love to. But I missed y'all. I'm so excited to be here, man. Y'all growing up. I love it, man. I
Yes,
love
sir.
this,
Yes,
man.
sir.
This is exciting, man. Positive, movement to the ultimate goal of what the Saints Stop has originally began with, and that's just to provide the fan base with the information that they don't get from national televised stations and podcasts, the real deal behind the Saints, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Right.
Um, just real quick, Who Dat Nation and Saints Stop is kind of teamed up. We are actually wanting to be more promotional with one another. We originally started this. I can remember just real quick. Tracy uh, reached out to the admins, and he's like, "Man, I wanna get y'all involved and stuff like that." And man, I just saw something whenever Crystal came to me and she said, "Would anyone be interested?" And I was like, "Yeah, me." Like I would love to be a part of something like that. And ever since
Right.
then, I've just felt like a brother. You guys have made Who Dat Nation feel so blessed by allowing us to be a part of what y'all have going on here, man. And so we really appreciate it. Couple things real quick. I remember when we first started, we had probably about 22,000 members. We are now up close to 32,000 members, going strong in our Facebook fan page. We've been doing a lot of stuff. We teamed up with the Tennessee Titans group. I don't know if y'all remember when they had the tornadoes a couple months back. We did a fundraiser for them. Was able to donate close to I'm not really sure the exact amount of money, but we were able to donate some money to them to help victims who were victimized of the tornado. And we're about to launch a big. We're about to invest in the N95 mask for the healthcare workers. We're going to buy 33,000 masks, and we're going to go to the hospitals in Orleans Parish, Jefferson Parish, and St. Tammany Parish, and distribute them to all of the nurses and stuff there, just as part of our thank you to them.
Mm-hmm.
That has always been our motto. That has always been what we do. It's about family, just like you guys. It's about family, and about the Saints, obviously, and representing them as fans and as lovers of the franchise. So yeah, we're really excited. Got my Who Dat Nation shirt on. You know what I'm saying?
I see
Representing.
you. I see you.
I'm really
Hey, so
excited to
here's
be
my
on here with you
question.
guys, man.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
Where are our shirts at? That's what I want to know.
Hey, look, where's my address is at?
Hey, I got you.
That's all
I
I need
got
is
you, man.
address.
So
You guys, hey,
the
look, listen, you.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you guys send me your addresses, I got boxes of shirts sitting right here, man, and I'll send y'all one each of y'all, of course, man.
All right, yeah, we're gonna have to get with you on that, man, so we could rep the Who That Nation alongside with Saint Stop at the same time, man. If you guys don't know,
Also,
we've always been
I just
huge fans of the Who That Nation. They always do great things for the community and all of the Saints fans. Who That Nation on Facebook. You guys go check them out. join the family. Just like you join Saint Stop family, join that Who That Nation family also.
Absolutely. And just real quick, I wanted to mention, and Tracy and I and Steven have talked a little bit about it, but this season coming up, we're going to be doing some really exciting things in the group. We're giving away tickets, a couple tickets. We're going to give away some field passes. But one of the things that we're trying to get together is we're going to do a huge Who Dat Nation tailgating party at one of the games. I think it's going to be the Kansas City game. And what we want to do is we want Saint Stop to come to the tailgate and do a live broadcast from the tailgate. So we're going to talk about that and see if maybe we can put something like that together. That way you guys get some live action. All of the podcast subscribers get some live action at the tailgating. Who knows? We might be able to get some people to come hang out and stop by. I know one guy in particular, old school Tyrone Hughes, is a good friend of mine. I'm sure he would love to come and hang out and talk football with us. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna try to do something, man. We're gonna try to get that together, definitely, huh?
Yeah. We're gonna try to definitely make that happen. Lots of big things that is possible that we're gonna get together and kind of coexist and make these things possible. All right. So with that being said, man, let's get started. Couple of things going on around the league, couple of things going on with the Saints in particular. And I want to start off with the Saints, of course, because that's what we do, Saints Style Podcast. So recently, less than maybe 30 minutes ago, Saints came out and said Taysom Hill was going to be the number 2 quarterback in the 2020 season. So, in my opinion, that means they're not looking for nobody else, right? You got Drew Brees, number 2 is Taysom. So, what are you guys' opinion on that? And do you think they still would go into the draft kind of in the back of their mind seeking a quarterback anyway?
Well, I think, they don't never be upfront with their ideas and what they're thinking. I think they're still trying to push Taysom Hill's value. You know what I mean? Like, I mentioned this before. You couldn't really push his value with Drew Brees sticking around. So that's, the whole retirement conversation. It was like, oh, well, this is going to be our guy. So you can push his stock up. And now that Brees is back, oh, well, this is going to be our number 2 because of what he can do. But I just don't see it being feasible, him being the number 2 and using him the way that we've been using him, because if he gets hurt, then what's going to happen? We're going to need a number 3. We're going to need a third quarterback, or, he may not end up being the number 2. They may just be saying that right now, and he may still be the number 3, and they may just keep using him the way they're using him. I just don't see it being feasible, because if he gets hurt, then what? There's a lot of options out there. We talked about it on last podcast. The Mr. 30 for 30, Jameis Winston is still out there. I by no means would have him be in a starting position, but a backup, I wouldn't mind. They could go to the draft for a guy like Jordan Love, who could fall to like the 2nd or 3rd round, depending on where you look at him. A lot of people have him graded so differently. Some in the top 15, some in 3rd, so just depending on how the draft falls, we could get a guy like him. Or, Cam Newton sitting out there, man. I keep telling y'all, Cam Newton sitting out there.
Absolutely not.
Hey, look, bro.
Absolutely not.
Come on. Hey, listen. Hey, so, okay. Apparently, sometime between yesterday and today, he went and got a physical in Atlanta, and he's been medically cleared. He is A1 to go. And I think a guy like that who's been to the Super Bowl, who's been an MVP, he's a proven starter, proven veteran. Let's remember, when we got Drew Brees, San Diego wrote him off. His arm was done. They said he would never play again. Who's to say that we don't strike twice, and get another quarterback that people are writing off? I understand he played for Carolina. I understand all that. But if we could get a guy like that, because I don't believe Taysom Hill is the heir apparent. I just don't. Look.
Okay.
All right. He does. Look, he doesn't have enough tape.
Look, Matthew, I think you're absolutely right. I see you up on the screen here. I just posted you, bro. Cam Newton is trash as hell. I agree with you. Now, before
And
Mike,
look,
before I give you your piece on this thing right here, man, I'm gonna go ahead and say, Steven, I don't give a hell what you talking about with Cam Newton. I can't stand this dude. He's
Bro, put your
always hurt.
feelings
He's
aside, bro. Put your
broken,
feelings aside
and
and look
he
at the
said so
football
many out
aspect.
blatant wrong things about New Orleans. Can't stand the culture, the city, and all that. I don't want to see this dude nowhere around my team or in my city for that matter. Now,
Okay, but if
Yeah.
you say that now, but if he comes to New Orleans and ball out, then your tune is going to change. Then it's going to be, oh, Cam Newton. Like, I'm just saying, bro.
no, I'm gonna be like,
Take
good
your
job,
feelings.
stupid little boy. Thank you for your help, but you could go back on the bench.
so
All right,
okay,
all right, Mike,
so
go
here's
ahead,
the
brother.
thing. So I mean, yeah, Steve Bijou, you are absolutely right. We could probably use somebody like Cam Newton with his talent that he does have and his talent for the game. However, his diva mentality and his attitude is not going to fit. He would look better in a sensation uniform than he would in a New Orleans Saints
Bro,
uniform.
okay, but
That's
tell me
proven
this. Tell me
fact.
this.
Like he likes to dress. He likes dresses and stuff. So maybe that might fit him better. He might be good as one of the cheerleaders, but he ain't no good as a Saint. Now, I also, to all jokes aside, he is not gonna settle for a backup position. He wants to start somewhere. That's
Right.
why he's going to be best fit
But
in New England.
the problem,
I
your
think New
problem
England
with
is a
that,
good.
here's the problem. There are not that many starting positions open as of right now. A lot of people look at places like Miami, Jacksonville, but Miami is sitting at number 5. It's very easy that they get a Tua Tagovailoa if he falls or a Justin Herbert in the draft. Instead of paying millions on millions on millions for a quarterback, you go get a rookie at a cheap contract and build the rest of your team because Miami needs everything. So does Jacksonville, which is sitting
Mhm.
pretty high up there. The only other team I could see that's feasible to jump on Cam Newton is the LA Chargers because right now they're rocking with Tyrod Taylor. However, I feel like if they were going to do it, they would have done it already. So I don't think that's going to be an
Right.
option either. Now, you mentioned the New England Patriots. Quite
Mhm.
possible. And it's quite possible for the same reason I think that he could go to the New Orleans Saints. The head coach, Sean Payton, not going to tolerate that diva mentality, and neither is Bill
I mean,
Belichick.
yeah, but Sean Payton came out last season, at the end of last season. He was asked this question. He clearly said that we're not interested in Cam Newton at all. And I think a lot of the reason is because he just doesn't fit the criteria personally, like his personality wise, as far as what we need here. He's a good fit at New England. And let me tell you why he is a good fit at New England. It's because I think Bill Belichick can do more work with him than we can. And the reason why is because they don't have a Hall of Fame quarterback over there. We do. We already have a Hall of Fame quarterback sitting on our roster right now. We need to pay attention more to that than pay attention to Cam Newton's problems and his stuff off the field and his diva mentality and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I will tell you this. I do feel that we do need to go get a quarterback. I don't feel that we need to use a first or third round pick as a quarterback. I think we need to go get an experienced quarterback like Andy Dalton, perhaps, or someone like that.
Hey, Mike,
Hey, look,
you are dismissed. You
I'm
are
starting to
dismissed
like
for
the
that
idea of Andy
comment.
Dalton, bro.
You are dismissed.
You
I
know,
don't
I
want
definitely
you to finish
appreciate
that
that.
statement.
Shout out to Andy Dalton. I've been posting this boy for I don't even know how long now. Thank you very much. I don't understand why everybody hates on Andy Dalton when he coming from a Bengals team that had one wide receiver and nothing else. Nothing else.
Bro,
But you calling him
bro,
garbage.
So do you remember? Do
because
you remember
he is
whenever?
garbage.
Listen. Do you remember whenever we went and got Mark Brunell? We went and got Mark Brunell was actually on the Super Bowl team whenever
Super
we
Bowl
won
team.
the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Did y'all know that?
Yes, we
Yeah.
Mhm.
did.
And
Yes.
so and the reason why we went and got him, is because of his experience. But we also had a young, fresh quarterback too at that time. At that time as well, Chase Daniels was on the team too, right? So
Right.
we had Chase Daniels and we had Mark Brunell. The reason why they brought Mark Brunell in is because Chase Daniels was actually considered a second string quarterback, but in case Drew Brees got hurt and Chase Daniels got in and he came with the whole, rookie mentality and couldn't do it, then they had somebody experienced there ready to step in and do it. That's what I think is going to happen. Let me tell you who I would love to see them go get, right? Nick Foles or someone like that, or Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Playoff
Ryan
folks.
Fitzpatrick.
Oh well, it's too bad.
You know what I'm saying? Foles. Look,
He's in
believe
Chicago.
me, Tracy, I've been watching you.
Yeah, I see you. I see you, bro.
I've been watching y'all's podcast, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I ain't been here, but I've been watching. I've been listening, bro. So I think Nick Foles or someone like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Andy Dalton, somebody like that we can get kind of cheap that wants to win a Super Bowl that doesn't have one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe, you know that because let me tell you something. We putting it together right now, bro. Like it's happening. Like if you see everything, I'm gonna tell you one of our next moves. I think is gonna happen. Clay Matthews is gonna be a Saint. I'm telling you
I
right
can
now,
see
either
that.
Clay
I can see
Matthews or
that. I can definitely
Jadavion.
see that. Here's the thing, though. I would rather them go if we're going to go after a veteran quarterback. I would rather them go after like a Derek Carr than an Andy Dalton. Like hands down, Andy Dalton has had years on years on years to show. And at one point, you say he didn't have any weapons, but at one point he had Giovanni Bernard, Tyler Eifert, AJ Green. They had weapons around him,
Mhm.
and he just could not make throws. He could not make the throws, and it wasn't for lack of talent around him. So I just don't see why putting him in a different situation would be any different. I think he is what we think he is. He's not going to get any better. You know what I mean? I mean, Ryan Tannehill, people think he got better, but he didn't. What happened is the pieces around him got better. You gave him a running game. You gave him a defense. We see, without that in Miami, he was trash. And that's exactly what Andy Dalton's going to turn out to be. So, no, I feel like that'd be a total waste of money.
Definitely disagree with you. You saying you put players around this guy that makes him better. Well, Andy Dalton has no players around him except AJ Green, and he
Now
balled
he
out.
doesn't.
Balled out with AJ Green.
But he got
Okay, so wait, give me a second.
for-
Give me a second. Matthew's saying right now Andy Dalton would be a good fit for New England. What are you guys' opinion on that?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you're kind of putting him in the same situation that he was in Cincinnati. I mean, let's be honest.
Nothing.
New England really doesn't have any big power names on that offense, so you're kind of putting him in the same situation that you would
I definitely agree.
in New England.
I definitely agree.
Except maybe their offensive line is probably a little bit better than Cincinnati's. I mean, they would
New England.
If Andy Dalton.
New England is starting from scratch, basically. The only thing they have is they still got Belichick, they still have Josh McDaniels, but their offensive line coach, their special teams coach, Jamie Collins, Tom Brady, Kyle Van Noy, a lot of their staples are gone. They are literally basically starting from scratch. So that would just be taking them out of one bad situation and putting them in another bad situation. I mean, the only difference is the division. The AFC East is pretty much a cupcake division. However, Miami, they're building a little squad over there, like with the pieces they put on their defense, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go get a quarterback with that top 5 pick, whether it be a Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert or even a Jordan Love. They will get a young quarterback, and I think they'll build around them. So, hey, and then you still got Buffalo. You still got Buffalo to contend with. You see how good they were last year with that defense and Josh Allen coming along. So I don't know, man. I think it could work just because of the division, but it's literally just take them out of one horrible situation and putting them in the same situation with a different team.
Here's also too my whole take on this topic, and I want to look at it from a different perspective or point of view, not necessarily about okay, so now Taysom Hill is the number 2 quarterback to Drew Brees, so obviously we do have to go get another quarterback, but with that option now that Taysom Hill is considered the number 2 quarterback, that eliminates a lot of what he has been doing. So, who falls into that spot now? Is it Deontay Harris, or do we Like, because we're gonna need a guy that kind of like what Taysom Hill was doing. Taysom Hill was filling in on some stops, kind of like that Swiss Army knife kind of thing. He was catching the ball, he was running the ball, running options and stuff like that, you know. But that's
Yeah.
all gonna be gone.
Well, here's the
I
thing.
honestly don't see him changing it though.
Because if
Regardless if he's the number 2 quarterback or not.
Well, I mean, well, look, there's a lot of variables here. For one, if he is the backup and they decide not to use him like that, if Alvin Kamara is healthy, he's the guy that's going to take them snaps. Now, he's not going to be running options or anything like Taysom Hill was, so that's taken out. And I think they want to keep that in. But Alvin Kamara will get a lot of those snaps. And Tracy, you've been preaching about Latavius Murray. If that's the case, Murray's going to have to take the bulk of the typical running back carries. I think that is an option. But, you know, we're not talking about an option here that I don't think a lot of people are saying. Bill Belichick has said more than once that he is interested in Taysom Hill. They need a quarterback. Now, if they go and try to sign Taysom to a tenured contract, I would take it. That means we have back-to-back picks in the first round, 23 and 24. So that's an option. Taysom Hill could be a Patriot by the time the 2020 season starts.
I see it. I see that for New England possibly. But I think it would be totally an experimental pick for them. You know what I mean? This would be something that they'd be like, well, we're starting all over. Why not give him a shot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because honestly, this guy has basically no footage. You know what he can do outside of being a quarterback, but at quarterback position, he's really up in the air.
This
so
is why
if they want to experiment,
let me tell you the main reason why I think it's possible though. The one thing that we all know Bill Belichick to not do is pay his players. To get a quarterback that he think could possibly be a franchise quarterback and not have to pay him, they wouldn't have to pay Taysom Hill a bunch of money. They probably throw $10 million at him and he'll take that and he'll be their franchise quarterback. And they'll take all that money and build up their team like they need to. I mean, they didn't even pay Tom Brady anything past $18 million. So you think they're going to go out there and pay a veteran like a Cam Newton or James Winston? That's out of the window. And where they're sitting in the first round, it's quite possible that all the top quarterbacks are taken before they pick. So that's a very good option for them to get a cheap, talented quarterback in Taysom Hill is to just sign him to that tenure and pay him 10, 11 million.
All right, let me put this one up on the screen for you guys real quick. Matthew got jokes today, man. New England is gonna get Andy Dalton. Why you think they was filming Bengals on the sideline? Facts, man. Oh my God. I like that one, man. I like that one.
I swear, if they do, that means everything comes full circle. Because I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out why they were filming that garbage team. I'm like, bro, y'all can beat them in their sleep. What are you filming this team for? If they do that now, hey, it becomes so much cooler.
That would be exactly why.
So basically, on the cool, they were scouting, right?
Pretty much, they're scouting their next quarterback, man.
Facts.
Way beforehand.
They were scouting their next quarterback, huh?
All right, man. Look, we're gonna move on from the QBs for a minute, bro. Another big move. Sticking with the Bengals, of course. Von Bell signed to the Bengals for 3 years, $18 million. Now, when we talk about Von Bell, great football player. 2019, the man had 66 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 interception, and 5 pass deflections. Not bad at all. He did get hurt during the season, but to say that these were your numbers right here, I think that's a good pickup for the Bengals. Because we have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I'm not that sad to see him go, especially due to the fact that he was asking for more money than I think the Saints was trying to pay him. But that's a good pickup, man. And I'm sorry to see the guy go because he is a good football player. But I mean, for the Bengals, I mean that's an outstanding pickup.
I mean, look, I think he went there for one reason and one reason only, because he knew his starting job was not guaranteed. With the way that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson played, and I've said it multiple times, they are basically the same type of player. Then with the addition of Malcolm Jenkins, you definitely wasn't getting a spot over Malcolm Jenkins, so you're already competing for the 2 spot, right?
Right.
Then now we bring in Deatrick Nicholas from the XFL, the leading interception leader from the XFL.
Oh, now
You
you
had a lot of.
now you
And
want
he's
to jump
gonna be
ahead of me,
good
huh?
too, bro.
Hey, yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I had to, but you had a lot of competition in that backfield, and I don't think, I honestly don't think he was going to win that starting job, especially with Malcolm Jenkins being there and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson
Well,
being a younger option,
and also
being
too,
an option that we don't have to pay. So
yeah. Well,
Go ahead,
and
Mike.
you also gotta take into consideration too. That's a homeboy thing too. He's from Ohio originally, so I mean that's where he's from actually. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he played at Ohio State for
yeah,
for for his college tender. So he's that's his hometown thing. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's true. I know he is originally from Ohio, so he wanted to go home, and I think that makes sense as to why he took less money than what the Saints offered him. Also, too, I think you need to take into consideration that once we brought in all of the talent that we brought in at that specific position that he was at, he saw an opportunity for $6 million. He was okay with that because he didn't know if maybe he would get a better one or what, but he was okay with it because it brings him home. Also,
Yeah.
too, Cleveland is building, and I think he's young, so I think he can make a name for himself on that team, in that defense. Maybe be as a captain or something. It just gives him more of an opportunity, I feel, for his career. I think it was a great move for him. I think it was a great move for Cleveland. I think it was a good move for us. I mean, he came here. He played a couple of years. He showed what he was capable of doing. We were a platform for him. We gave him all the opportunity that he needed to show the NFL and to show everybody what he's capable of. Now he can move forward with his career somewhere else and be a star, because we got a lot of stars in that secondary right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he would have
man,
probably been,
championship caliber backfield.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. And I've been a Saints fan for a long time. I have never seen the moves on defense that I have seen Mickey Loomis do in these past couple of weeks, man. They are really paying attention to that defense, and I'm happy about it, bro. I really
Yeah.
am. I
We
really am happy about it.
we just talked about that last podcast, man, and I just happened to mention that this is one of the most exciting off seasons that we've had in a long time. It's got me very excited. Like, I thought I was excited last year. But this year it just seems like all the pieces falling. They're making late moves, but they're making all the right moves. So I'm very excited to
Yeah,
see what happens.
You mentioned
I am.
earlier
I am.
about Clay Matthews.
Mm.
I think that is definitely something we need, because we lost AJ Klein, so we lost a linebacker spot. We lost a guy with some speed, and it seems like we're bringing in a lot of guys with pedigree, a lot of guys that either been to a Super Bowl or have won a Super Bowl, like re-signing Janoris Jenkins, Malcolm Jenkins, Emmanuel Sanders, bringing in a guy like Clay Matthews to be in that defense and be a
Oh
leader
yeah.
and give
Oh.
Demario Davis a running mate. I think that would be
and
monstrous.
look, me and Jason were talking earlier. Could you imagine Alex Anzalone, Clay Matthews, and Demario Davis? It's kind of like, and we were talking about. Do you remember when Clay Matthews and AJ Hawk were on
Yep.
Green Bay, and they both had the
Yep.
long hair? Well, it would kind of be that same kind of thing, man. Alex Anzalone's got the long hair, Clay Matthews got long hair. But let me tell you, the thing that I like about Clay Matthews is he's so versatile. He can play that often, that outside linebacker position, but he can also rush the edge, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to pay attention to him when he is on that edge rushing. Who's going to pay attention to Cam Newton? You know what I'm saying? See,
Right.
Clay Matthews is the type of defense. He's a stand-up defense. He he rushes from a stand-up position, whereas Cam Newton is in a 2-point stance whenever he rushes. So you don't know what Clay Matthews is going to do. He's always moving around and stuff. Man, I just really think that would put a different look for our defense as far as that defensive line and that linebacking core together. It's like the revamped Dome Patrol, baby. I'm telling you, man. I'm
Right.
excited about it, son. I am excited about it, bro. I really am. See, I've also heard a couple people talking about Jadeveon Clowney as being an option as well, and I like that option.
I don't know. Let's talk about that because I don't know how to feel it. I've been back and forth on if I think that's a good option or not. We all know what Jadeveon Clowney is capable of. However, the dude's always hurt. He is always hurt.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
But he also just came from he had like a core reconstruction surgery. Like I don't know how to feel about that if we can't evaluate him, especially with everything going on. I don't know how to determine if that's going to be a good fit or not. Now, if he could come and be a fraction of what he was with the Texans, then yeah, by all means, let's throw him in there. But I'm not throwing a lot of money at him at all. No, I mean give him a fair amount, but I'm not giving him top money.
Yeah, I think Clay Matthews, to me personally, is the better option than Jadeveon Clowney, just for the simple fact of the experience that Clay Matthews has. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney has some experience, but he doesn't have the experience on Super Bowl caliber teams like Clay Matthews does. When Clay Matthews played for Green Bay and stuff, they were really good. Whenever he played at Green Bay, that defense was, I mean, atrocious, man. And Clay Matthews has still got it. I mean, he's a little bit older, but he's still got the strength. He's still got the speed. But more importantly, he's got the heart for the game. He loves the game. He would just bring a fresh, new, awesome attitude, to that locker room. I just feel like he would be a better fit for us. Just my opinion.
I agree with that. I think Steven agrees with that also, man. So another move that was made, not really a move, but a re-signing, because this has been a team that's been in the news lately because of Tom Brady, which I don't know. I still can't stand that dude. He's a great Hall of Fame quarterback, but Tom Brady, man, you're not about to come to the NFC South and do nothing. Believe that.
Facts.
Nothing.
Facts.
Except get beat up. That's exactly what's going to happen. Get beat up a lot.
Ndamukong Suh signs back with the Bucks for 1 year, $8 million. Now, when I seen this, and you think about Ndamukong Suh, he's always been great in his position. But he's getting older. He's been around for a good minute now. But I'm thinking with this signing and him coming back for 1 year and them bringing in Tom Brady, he thinking this is the year. This is my all-in year. You know what I'm saying? And I think not only with this signing and bringing back a big name, like a lot of teams this year in 2020 are going for that Super Bowl. They're making moves. Everybody's all in this year. And it just seems like all around the league, man, people were just signing whoever, just everybody come. You know what I mean? So whatever they could get, they're getting because everybody's all in this year. And it's going to make this season very, very exciting.
Yeah, man, it's an arms race. It's definitely an arms race, bro. Like, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say, man, like I see a lot of people, a lot of players making a bid for our division, and let me tell you why. Because the last couple of years, the NFC South has been the division to watch.
Facts.
I mean, that's facts. You know what I'm saying? And and everybody knows that we, the New Orleans Saints, have been the team to beat pretty much in that division. So it kind of sparks that heart interest in the game again for some of these players who have been on, teams like for instance Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been at New England his entire career.
Right.
So if he was to make a move, he would make a move at the end of his career something like this in something that is going to, I guess, bring that life back in his game, because
have some
the
real
past couple
competition
seasons,
for a change.
right? You know what I'm saying? Have some real competition, prove to himself that he's not, really in it for just the money. I don't know what his idea was, but I'm gonna tell you like this: it's gonna happen the same way it happened for Brett Favre. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's whenever Brett Favre went to Minnesota, he did well, but man, when he came up against us,
Right.
I mean, they broke. I mean, they really.
I mean,
They
but
really
here's the
blew
this.
him
thing
out the
too.
game.
At least
One
here's the
second, but
thing.
I've said this also on last podcast that game against Minnesota Vikings when Brett Favre was there in the New Orleans Saints in that divisional game, that's one of my favorite games of all time. That was a high
That was a great
impact game.
game.
And Brett Favre, as old as he was at that time, we tagged that ass, but he was still out there throwing them bombs. That's a great quarterback, man. That's one of my favorite games ever.
Tom Brady's not capable of that though. Tom Brady don't have the arm that Brett Favre had. So at his age, but he needed the weapons that Tampa can provide for him that New England clearly couldn't. You see what I'm saying? Now,
let me tell you something.
The other option, the better option to me, if I was Tom Brady, would have been LA, because you're still in the AFC. I think also, though, he thought from this point he didn't want to be in the same division as Patrick Mahomes. Because Patrick Mahomes is that dude right now. Patrick Mahomes is the Brett Favre of this generation, pretty much. So he didn't want them problems.
Well, let's look at it too this way. Who was the number one wide receiver last season? Michael Thomas. Who was number two? Who was number 2 and number 3?
Right, Mike Evans and Godwin.
Michael Evans and Godwin. So he's got weapons. And let me tell you something. We are going to be in a battle with them. I promise you, those 2 games are going to probably be the 2 best games of the season to watch. The Saints and the Bucks play. It's going to be a great. Also, too. They lost. Did they lose? What's his name? The McCoy. Gerald McCoy is gone.
Yeah,
he went to another team.
I want to say he signed with the Cowboys. I think
you're right. I think he did. But I mean, they're paying attention to their offense, but they're not doing much for their defense. They're losing players on defense, and you know as well as I do, defenses win championships. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have got to pay attention to that defense. Now, good thing about it for us is that we already had a high-powered offense pretty much. We just needed to, slip in one or 2 pieces, which we have done by signing Emmanuel Sanders. I still think, and I am going to agree with you, I still think we need to go get another receiver. I don't know if it's going to. I think it's going to be in the draft. But I think we need to go get us another receiver, a number 4 receiver, or bring either your boy Lil Jordan Humphreys or Emmanuel Butler up, and let them prove themselves in training, in a training camp to get that number 4 slot, because we're going to be running a lot of 4 wide. We're going to spread that offense out a lot, you know what I'm saying, which is going to open up the run game for Murray and Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara is going to have a great season this year. I'm telling y'all, bro. I just got that feeling. I mean, he's quiet right now. He's working out. I just think he's going to have one of them seasons. It's his last season on the contract. He wants to solidify himself as a number 1 running back. I'm telling y'all, watch Kamara this year, bro. I'm telling you, he's going to be awesome, bro.
I see you hype about Kamara, huh? I see you hype about him. We'll definitely see coming off of last season. I hope he does 10 times better than what he did, because I wasn't impressed whatsoever, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. But I think he has it in, though.
I think so too. I still think he's a dynamic player, man. And he's got so much potential. That's a young guy. And the way he his balance and bounces off defenders, man, he's just a great player, and I'm hoping he comes back 100%, because I do think that last season was a fluke. I think the man was hurt. Nobody didn't want to say it. Every time I brought it up on the podcast, everybody was like, "Oh, you don't know that. But what else could it have been?" You know what I'm saying? He had the ankle injury, and he wasn't the same ever since.
Another name real quick that we need to focus on too this season and watch is Deontay Harris. Deontay Harris signed for another couple years with us, and I think his position as punt return, kick return is going to be there, but I think we're going to see a lot more of him. I would even venture to say that we may see some of him in the backfield, running reverses and stuff, flats, stuff like that. I really feel like Deontay Harris is going to have a good season as well.
Yeah. Steven kind of alluded to that last podcast also, man. We both kind of think that guy is going to play a bigger role this season, not only, for the punt return thing, because he's great at it, but also because, like Steven said, he's so short, so shifty. He's going to get more playing time. And I'm excited to see that because I think he's another dynamic player, man.
Yeah, kind of like a Darren Sproles,
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Janoris Jenkins restructured his contract. What I got was his contract was restructured for 2 years, $16.75 million, $10 million guaranteed. But it was extended an extra year, so it's actually 3 for the 2021 season. But with that being done, that lets us, if by the time 2021 comes around and we don't like the production that he's doing, we can basically let him go without losing money.
Right.
So
he would become a restricted free agent.
Right.
At that point.
And from what I got was that's going to save us $7. Mike, I know you said that was going to save us $8 million, but anywhere between that $7 to $8 million being saved, that's a lot of money. That puts money to a lot of other positions that needs to be redone or looked for at this point in time.
I mean, that also looking at his contract, he's clearly the number 2 corner. It's clearly Lattimore, Jenkins. You don't pay a guy $8 million a year to be on the bench or to be a slot corner. And it's good because if Patrick Robinson, I don't know if he was injured last year or what, but if he can get back to what he was doing when he was in San Diego, we got a nice our backfield with Malcolm Jenkins, Janoris Jenkins, Lattimore, Robinson, Deatrick Nicholas, C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah.
Our backfield is monster right now, bro.
It definitely is looking. It's definitely shaping up to be one of the best backfields in the NFL. It really is.
Well, here's the thing I like about Jackrabbit, about Janoris Jenkins, is the mentality, the attitude of let's make a Super Bowl run, because everybody sees that we're putting together something for a Super Bowl run. And look, he knows as well as everyone else on the team knows, if they make it to the playoffs and they make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to make a ton of money. So give up a little bit of money right now so that we can put together something that gets us more money in the end. You know what I'm saying? It's a business move, but it's a team move. It's a team effort move, and I like that attitude. They see the vision just like, we all see the vision, so I'm really excited about Janoris Jenkins. He played really well for the couple games that he played in. He was just kind of pushed in there. And so really you just saw a little bit of his raw talent because he didn't know the schemes and stuff that he was running. He was just getting to know them. But you saw some raw talent.
They literally signed him and was like, yo, match up with this dude. Don't worry about nothing.
Right. So you saw the intuitiveness of his game, like how he can be effective without knowing the actual play schemes that they're going to be running, without knowing the packages, So, once he gets those packages down and they get into training camp and stuff, look, it's going to be a great season for the New Orleans Saints defense, bro. It really is.
So here's my only question. Here's my only question about the defense. I think we still need another pass rusher. Somebody opposite Cam Jordan. We need another defensive end. And my other question is, can Rankins stay healthy? Bro, can this man stay healthy? If Rankins can stay healthy, if Davenport can stay healthy, I think we have a monster defense. But those two guys right there, man, is going to be crucial. That's why I told Tracy on the previous podcast that Onyemata re-signing was a massive deal because Rankins just can't stay healthy. We need someone that's going to be able to push the line. Our secondary looks great, but now I think up front we have one or two things we need to address.
Clyde Edwards, huh?
Yeah. Sorry, man. I was typing in the comments. My man Matthew is just he's going at it right now, bro. So I think the Saints should draft Clyde Edwards from LSU. Due to beats, reminds me of a smaller version of Mark Ingram.
He's talking about Clyde Edwards, Hilaire. The
running back. Yo,
yeah.
So okay, I what have I been saying for months?
Running back. You want another running back.
Not only do I want another running back, we need a powerful running back. Clyde Edwards, monster. Him and Kamara, that would be a sick combination, a cheap combination, and a younger combination. And I think putting a guy like that behind Breeze, a company with Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Thomas, Jared Cook, Kamara, crazy. That would be. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be mad at them if they picked him in the first round. I would not be mad at that pick at all.
I mean, here's the exciting thing. I think Mickey Loomis and what he has done in free agency has opened up our options as far as draft picks are concerned. You know, I mean, we have kind of filled in some of the spots that we needed that were a necessity for sure. You know, be it, you know, at safety, be it at number 2 wide receiver, you know, and then re-signing Janoris Jenkins, and then you know, this guy, what's his name? The guy from the XFL,
Deatrick Nicholas.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Deatrick Nicholas.
Deatrick, yeah.
Hey, and let me tell you something about him.
You know,
I watched all of the XFL games, and the Houston Roughnecks, they were doing some damage running through that league, and he was the leading interception guy in the XFL, and he's a big part of why they were successful. And one of the problems that I think our secondary has had over the last few years is we haven't been able to get those interceptions and those takeaways. Yes, we might get a strip fumble here and there. Yes, the occasional interception by Marshawn Lattimore, but we haven't gotten any interception production out of our safeties. And I think adding him back there with Malcolm Jenkins, we turnover machines. I fully expect our turnover ratio to be in the plus.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback on that too. I watched some of his college stuff. He is an assassin, bro. He likes to hit too. Like, he's aggressive. Like, he really likes to hit. He's one of those guys that's kind of like, you don't see him coming and then pow, he hits you, you know. So he's aggressive. He plays the ball. He takes those chances. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like his whole format, bro. He's definitely a good addition, you know, and a cheap addition too. He came at a good price, you know. So I think Mickey Loomis did a good job with that, you know. As far as the running back situation is concerned, Clyde Edwards-Hilaire would be a great addition. I really agree with that. You know, I'm kind of curious to see what Latavius Murray is going to do this season. You know, you haven't heard much talk about him at all.
We're gonna do the same thing he did last season.
I hope
man.
so.
He gonna ball out with you get a man a ball and let him do his job.
Bro, am I the
like
only one that doesn't see the problem?
I really do.
Am I the only one?
You the only one. You the only damn one.
You the only one. You the only one,
bro.
Son.
He's not a bad running back, but he's just not a monster, bro. Like, no one's scared of this dude. I'm not worried that he's gonna break one out at any given time. I'm not.
He didn't break one for 30 yards. He ain't break one for another 20. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Get a man the props where his props.
You sitting there saying nobody's scared of him.
I'm not saying he's trash.
I mean, you say
he's just not.
You say.
Go ahead,
you
Mike.
saying nobody's scared of him, but but he was trucking dudes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was literally running over
Thank
dudes. He's
you.
a north
Thank you.
and south runner. You know what I'm saying? He hits the pocket and he hits it aggressively. I like him, man. I hope he does more than what he did last season. I think he's going to, because he wants that position. He wants his position. He doesn't want to lose his position, you know? So,
I
you know, we
mean,
also
we'll see.
Matthew say you the outsider, Steve. You the only
All right.
one.
Hey, okay.
You the only one. Good.
Hey,
you know,
I'll take that.
You know, we
I'll take
also
Goddamn analyst, man.
that. Hey, but look, okay. Answer this question.
I don't know if
Answer this question. If you could have Edwards or Murray, which one are you taking?
I'm sticking with Murray.
I'm taking Murray right now.
Get out of here, bro. No.
Because I don't know.
Tell you why,
you know
though,
what I'm
man.
saying?
I mean, the reason why is his experience, and I don't know. I guess
I'm
a
talking
guy
about
like
from
Clyde
a
Edwards-Helaire,
physicality standpoint.
you're gonna have to build him, and we're not building. We not
Bro,
building
all in.
positions.
Bro,
we are
you don't
filling
have to
positions
build.
with experience
You
to
do
go
not-
win the Super Bowl.
You do not, hold on. You do not have to build a running back. Running back is the easiest position to play in the NFL. You can plug and play a running back in any system. So all that building him up, that's not true. Look what Kamara did his rookie season. It's all you have to do is find
Tracy.
a guy with the right
What,
tools.
man? What?
Tracy, who he playing with, Tracy? Tracy, who you playing with, bro?
Man, stop playing with me right now, dog. I've been on the same thing. It's the same thing with you every single week, man. Get off of Murray, man. Let that man do his
All
job.
right. Hey, when the season starts and he not on the team, remember who said it.
Oh, man, Murray ain't going nowhere. Don't act like the Saints don't know what that boy did for them.
Okay, we'll see. We will see. Because look, like I've said before, he and Kamara cannot work in a tandem. I don't know why. They just can't. They work better alone. It's not like with Ingram and Kamara when they worked well together, and that's what the Saints are going for. They need guys that work as a cohesive unit, and that's not what Kamara and Murray do. They work better when they're by themselves. Why? Murray looked like a star because Kamara was out, so he had to get all the reps. But when he is in that rotation, he can't get anything done. That is my main reason for saying he will not be on the team. They will get a running back that can fit the system and that can pound the ball and be the thunder to Kamara's lightning.
So let me get your opinion on this, because we're about to wrap this up in a minute, man. I got one more subject before we leave, but I want to go ahead and throw Matthew's comment up there on the screen. I would take Edwards and Murray and let Alvin Kamara go if he has a bad season this year.
No, because that takes away what Kamara is capable of. You need that speedy guy. You need the guy that could catch out of the backfield. Now, Edwards can do that, but that's not his forte.
You know, I see both Edwards and Murray as both of kind of the same types of running backs. They're bruiser running backs. Kamara is that swifty, slick, juke you out your feet, out your shoes kind of running back. We need that kind of a running back with the kind of offense that we run,
I agree. That's a big part of our game plan.
I mean, because especially for Drew, if you look at those years, like when we lost Sproles and we had those couple of years without a running back that could do that, it was very noticeable. He depends on those running backs that can do that type of thing. So now having him there is definitely essential for the offense to run the way it needs to.
Right.
Yeah, I think speed is going to be essential at that position for our offense due to the fact that we do run a lot of the screens. I mean that's one of the things that has been good for us, in the last years. Also, too, Drew Brees. I mean, Drew Brees can sit back there for 5 or 6 seconds and pick your defense apart. But we don't want to have him sit back there for 5 or 6 seconds, And so whenever you have running backs that can't develop, like a pass route fast enough, then that whole pocket collapses, and then
I think it needs to
force
be
balls.
I think it needs to be a running back too, because you remember before Kamara, when we had Cooks, they tried to make Cooks that guy that does the screens and that speedy, but it just for whatever reason was not working as good from the wide receiver position as it does from the running back position.
Yeah.
So you gotta have. I think Kamara is definitely essential.
One of the running backs that we had that was great at that was Pierre Thomas. Pierre Thomas made a screen look like a 50 and 60-yard pass all the time. His yards after the catch was enormous.
Steven was big on Thomas, man. That was his favorite running back for a long time, man.
That was my favorite running back. Look, that was my favorite running back too, Steven. So yeah, we do agree on one thing, son.
right.
But look, but the reason why was because he was so fast and so shifty and so small, man. I mean, he was small and he was shifty. He was compact, but man, when he hit you, he packed a punch. You know what I'm saying?
You say he was small, but he was also for his size. I think he was big for his size because he could run through the line as well as anybody. He wasn't just an east to west or a screen guy. Like he could run through the offensive line as well.
One of the things Steven used to say about Thomas, man, and why he was such a favorite of his is when this guy runs through a hole or runs into a defender, he always falls forward. And I couldn't say nothing outside of that. The man always fell forward. He was always a great player for us, man. Man, shout out to Pierre Thomas, man. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Pierre Thomas, man. That's my dog.
All right, so guys,
man, I'm
we about to wrap it up. We gotta wrap it up, man. But I got one more subject for us. So small league helmets. There's a debate on it right now with the NFL and league helmets. The NFL could let more than one helmet be in play. So you could have the new school helmets, but you could also have an alternate logo above the chin strap. So they're thinking throwing in some throwback helmets outside of what we already have going on. And I like it. Why not? Right? Because I think some of the old school helmets look better than the shit that they got going on now. Right? Mm-hmm. So what are you guys' opinion on having alternate helmets for the season?
I feel like if the Saints are going to do alternate helmets, they got to do something like drastic because all our helmets more or less look the same. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it'd be really dope, like for like our color rush uniforms, to have like a white helmet with the gold logo. Like that would be fire. You know what I mean?
I see a lot of like what do you call them?
Like fan made.
Yeah, they're fan made. Like I can't think of the word right now, but there's a lot of things going around, man, and people just be putting together colors and different logos, and I think some of them be dope. Like I would love to see that on some of my players in a game. You know what I'm saying? Facts. So to have an alternate logo or alternate color scheme besides black and gold or the white and black, I think that I would love to see something like that.
Bro, that white and gold is so clean, bro. Like just together. The white and gold combination is so clean. I don't know why you wouldn't have a helmet like that. Or all white helmet, gold logo.
Right, the little color rush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I was just thinking. I believe some years ago they did play. They had the white helmet with the white. I like the white with the gold fleur-de-lis with the black outlining on the fleur-de-lis. I think that would look great. Man, I really do. I mean, a little bit different. You know what I'm saying, right?
Man, look at this dude, man. Look at this dude. Matthew, bro, I love you. I want to see you. I want to see you back on the podcast next week, bro, because your comments are hilarious, man.
Hey, Matthew, man, if you down for it, bro, we gonna have you on here, man, so we can get your comments.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to see this dude on the podcast. This dude. This dude here is crazy, man. So don't care as long as we win. Helmets don't win games. They can wear pink, black helmets. Just win us a Super Bowl. Pink and black, Matt. Pink and black, huh, bro?
Pink and
Hey,
black.
breast cancer,
Pink and
breast
black.
cancer awareness.
Hey, yeah, that's what I was about to say. Breast cancer awareness, bro.
Right.
Show you,
I love it.
show,
Man. I
show
love
you
it.
respect for them
Oregon does
boobies.
Oregon does it all the time. Oregon, they color their uniforms don't even match they school. They just be whatever color they feel like wearing that day. So hey,
Right.
I'm with it.
Matt say he don't care what y'all look like. Win the Super Bowl,
don't
man.
care.
Stop playing with me right now.
Right.
Shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All right. So by that being said, man, we're gonna wrap this up. So again, who that everybody? My name is Tracy Bartholomew. This is Stephen Bijou, and what? What?
And look, like
Michael
comment.
Turner?
Yeah. Oh
All
my
right.
God.
I'm back.
What?
Yeah.
Hey,
Look,
Bigfoot is real.
Look,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna make a very, very hard attempt to be up on Wednesday night so I can be part of this podcast, man. I give you my word. I apologize. I really want to be here. It's just been difficult with my job, you know, and just doing what I can do to be a part of the help of what's going on in our world today with this crisis. So, but I definitely love this podcast. I love the Saints stop. I love my brothers, man. Look, what y'all got in the refrigerator, bro? I'm kind of hungry, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Just
Man, I don't know. You gotta go in that motherfucker find out for yourself shit like everybody else do. You know what I mean? All right, man. So again, who that everybody, man? We
who
love
that
you guys.
nation loves y'all, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
y'all like, comment, subscribe, share it,
There
man.
you
Hey,
go.
Saints fans, share it to everybody. And if you don't, man, what we tell you?
Yeah.
Man, stop playing with me right now, man. We gonna see you guys
That's what I'm
next
talking about.
Wednesday, of course, as always. All right, later.